Hello and welcome. In this video, we will show you how to configure the TD-Online sensors. To connect the sensor to your computer, you need to use a USB RS485 converter. It can be a device of other brands, but we cannot guarantee that it will work with our sensor with 100% certainty and recommend using our C200M converter. After connecting the sensor, you need to open it in the configurator by clicking on the TD-Online button. Let's move on to the parameters. In the upper part of the menu, you can see the serial number, the firmware version, and the temperature of the sensor. To the right, you can find the calibration, service, and help buttons that are the same as in case of other sensors we manufacture. The calibration button takes you to the calibration table menu. To learn more on how the tank calibration is done, you can take a look at other videos on our YouTube channel. Regarding the sensor calibration, different from the other fuel level sensors we offer, the TD-Online doesn't yet have the option of calibrating the sensor without fuel. So to calibrate your device, you need to fill the tubes with fuel and click the Set Full button or press F2 key once the level is stable. Then you clear the tubes from the fuel, wait for 2-3 minutes, and when the level is stable, again click the Set Empty button or press F3 key. Let's take a look at the settings. On the first tab, you can see the following data. The GPS GLONASS. This is the number of the satellites participating in the establishing of the geolocation of the sensor. RSSI, the signal's strength against the interference level. The higher it is, the better. The value of 30 can be considered as a good connection. Connection status. This one informs you at what stage the connection process currently is. Messages sent is the number of messages transmitted to the server from the moment the sensor started working. This value must increase by 1 after each time the sensor sends the data to the server. UIN, the current voltage on the sensor's power input. 12 volts is the normal value for this one. Further below, you can find the IMEI of the device used for connection with the server. To see it, you need to click the Read button on the next tab. And the next tab displays the GSM and server connection settings. Here you can change the data transmission interval from 10 to 1000 seconds, the mobile carrier settings, select one of the presets or set other and enter the APN, username, and password parameters of your carrier that you can find online. SIM PIN code. Enter the code in case there is one on your SIM card. A few words on the data transmission interval. Depending on the speed and tilt of the vehicle, to provide you with more precise data, the sensor adapts this setting accordingly. It can send the data to a server as often as once per 3 seconds. During the stops, it sends the data 8 times less often than when on the move. So if you set the interval at 10 seconds during the stops, the sensor will be sending the data every 80 seconds. In the server connection settings, the default IP address and the port number are those of the Valon platform. You can change them if you need to. You can also set or change the server access password. This password does not protect the settings of the sensor. It only controls the connection with the server. It should be introduced in the object settings on the platform, just like the IMEI number. Also, you can switch the data exchange protocol from the default via LAN IPS to the EGTS protocol, or change the connection protocol from the default TCP to the UDP. After changing the settings, be sure to save the changes by clicking on the Set button. Let's take a look at the last tab. Here you can configure up to 3 extra view level sensors connected to the TD-Online via the RS485 interface. Currently, there are 4 channels here. One of them is always taken by the TD-Online itself. Other 3 are used for extra sensors. Activate the tumblers and assign every sensor a different network address. The view level of the sensors will be transmitted to the server as LLS1, LLS2, LLS3, and LLS4 parameters. Further below, you can switch on the filtration. In the TD-Online sensors, there's only the median filtration type with the fixed level of 5. You cannot change it, only activate or deactivate the filtration in general. Also, you can set the horizon in this menu, which is the reference point of the sensor's accelerometer used by the sensor to determine the tilt angle of the vehicle. The engine on and engine off are buttons that are used to configure the engine hours counter. When the sensor is powered up from the vehicle's power generator or battery, you need to start the engine and press the engine on button. Then you can turn the engine off, wait for 2-3 minutes, and press the engine off button. After that, the IN2 parameter sent to the platform will help you monitor the engine hours of the vehicle.